So, got a lot of questions about my post yesterday. Guessing most of y'all know which one. Nah, actually, it was a funny thing to see how people were kind of split about the fact that I pointed out that as a culture, we as Americans, uh, we still haven't. I don't believe, in my opinion, that we've fully accepted the fact that it's something that should be uh, having a higher education or having a higher level of intelligence um, is something that we should really praise. I think in some circles it is, but in the vast majority, or maybe it's just the people that I interact with, uh, don't see it that way. Um, uh, my post originally was about how I was watching the Democratic debate or excerpt from it, and Beto O'Rourke, I think that's his fucking name, and some other dude, they started speaking Spanish like fluently. That shit was like crisp. I don't know if they're fluent Spanish speakers or if they practice just so they can have that moment or whatever, but a lot of people gave them a lot of shit over it because I think in some sense they are pandering to um, a certain demographic to show that they support them and whatnot, which I get it. Um, I I really don't care. I don't consider myself a Democrat or a Republican. When I go to the ballots, when I actually started participating in the process, um, I try not to look at if they're a Republican or a Democrat, but rather look at um, what they've accomplished in their career, and what the potential is for them to be in the position that they're running for. And that's how I cast my vote. And at the end of it, I go back and I look at, where did I fall? Did I vote for more Democrats or did I vote for more Republicans? Actually, this last year, I kind of felt like right in the middle. It was crazy. I was like, oh shit, because I voted for Democrats and Republicans on certain things. Because I think the two-party system is fucking dumb as shit. And a lot of corruption and a lot of chance for manipulation when it comes to that type of thing. But my point, really, really, why I'm making the video is just to point out that I think instead of condemning people for displaying a level of intelligence, creativity, or being bilingual, especially taking the time to be able to do that and master someone else's language and know a little bit about their culture, is something to be celebrated and not, be heckled about. You may not agree with their views, which I most certainly don't. I don't plan on voting for either one of those dudes. No. Um, but when you look at the contrast, when you look at somebody who has, they appear to have no cultural experience other than in business, which you can make the argument America is kind of a business. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why he's uh, restructuring a lot of things the way he is, because he is a businessman and he's running America like a business essentially. But there's some elements to his character and his how he represents the office that I think um, could be useful and it could make uh, his presidency a lot more acceptable to a lot of people. When you are unable to connect to people at their level, I think you kind of missed a mark on reaching out to those people. I think when you are resilient to accepting the fact that someone else's opinion may be different than yours, and that's okay. That's an okay thing to see that. You have to be receptive to the fact that you may not be right all the time, and when presented with facts and ideas, um, you have to be willing to accept that. You know what? Maybe I should back up on this and say that instead of just saying one thing one day and then the next day saying another thing, and people question like, yo, didn't a few months ago you were talking about this, and now all of a sudden you're saying this. and never addressing it and saying, hey, you know what? Hey, I sat down with some smart people. They put me up on game. They told me about X, Y, and Z, and I considered it. And you know what? I was wrong, and this is why I came to this conclusion. I think that's a really difficult thing for a lot of people to do. You have to be kind of humble and comfortable with who you are as a human being to be able to sit there and say, you know what, I made a poor decision, or my opinion was uneducated then, and now that I've been doing this job or whatever I've been doing for a period of time, and I've talked to people, systematic experts or whatever, and looking at the numbers, this is what it is, and this is why I changed my decision on this policy or this program. I think that would look better on an individual from the point of leadership. The fact that you can grow, no matter how old or how set in your ways are, you can be presented with a different opinion, and be okay with being wrong, or be okay with, all right, you don't agree with me, that's fine. I'm still going to do it this way, or whatever. I acknowledge the fact that you don't agree with me, and I don't hold any ill will. And that's the key, right? Not holding ill will towards an individual or group of people for disagreeing with you, because that doesn't look too good. That's an ugly color to have. When you're sitting there and you're acting like a child because someone doesn't agree with you, or they don't like you. But it's neither here nor there. But the point is, I feel that we need to put more emphasis on getting people who are culturally diverse into positions of power, so that they can actually understand where people are coming from why they have those type of concerns. Because if our leadership was all one demographic, and you never had somebody that really connected with the different cultures that make up the United States, I don't think you will get a good representation of what we are as a nation when they are representing us to the world. So take that for what it is, and that's why I feel that way. I just thought it was funny that, I didn't think it was funny. It's just like, damn, really, we're gonna shit on these guys for being bilingual? Is that really what you're worried about? How about their policies? How about what they've done in their careers? How about how they carry themselves? How about their conduct? How about their character as a human being? Shouldn't we care about those things if they're running for the highest position in the United States? That's what I thought when I saw those comments. I thought that those are the things that we as Americans give a shit about when we vote for somebody to, be in Congress, Senate, and when they run for president. Their character, the policies, how they conduct business, who they are as a person, and stuff like that. And then I sat back and I looked at. I guess we kind of don't care, as long as that individual says the things that we like, does the things that we care about, and as long as we get to the end goal, the means don't matter. That's kind of where we're at. So, yeah, damn.